Hey folks, welcome back to Gaming Garbage, where we take a look at games, chat about the gaming news in the industry, and of course, stream for fun. Today, we're going over a breakdown as quickly as I can over what happened with Ashes of Creation and the studio. This is all done by, as I mentioned earlier in my previous vid, by Caramanis, one of the bigger investors, talking to Nefas QS. And this was, again, about an hour and 43 minutes. I didn't want to go through the whole thing, or I didn't really have time to write notes yet. But I did find a pretty good article that worked on breaking it all down from WCCF Tech. And I'll link that down below. I will also link down this video and this video of the actual documents that Nefas has, if you're interested. But yeah, this just will be the quick version. But yeah, this really makes Sharif look bad. Now, all of this is, of course, allegedly so far, because nothing's been proven in court, but there are plenty of lawsuits coming. We know that the investors are going to have one. We know that 3 of the project leads are going to have 2 between the, or senior leadership is going to have 2 lawsuits between them. Sharif has said that he's going to have one. We also know, too, that there's one from SATA Systems and Aetna Insurance. And boy, there might even be more than that. So, oh yeah, and there's also an open investigation on Intrepid for the failure to give a 60-day notice through the WARN Act. So that's open too. And yeah, there could certainly be more in the future. But yeah, let's go ahead and get started. So just a quick overview. As it turns out, though, the project had been teetering on the brink of collapse for a very long time. Nefas QS has managed to interview one of the game's main investors, Jason Caramanis, and he is a MLM entrepreneur. He's pretty well known for that. And Caramanis claims that he's lost his own $12.5 million investing in Ashes of Creation. Also claims, too, that Sharif never actually invested a penny of his own money into Intrepid Studios, even though publicly claiming that he's contributed $30 to $60 million over the years. According to QuickBooks, recently obtained by Caramanis, Sharif and his partner, John Moore, who is the chief financial officer, roughly withdrew $500,000 per year in salary payments. Public records suggest that the company has raised somewhere between $109 to $115 million. But Caramanis claims that this has recently approached, in the interview, between $120 and $140 million, when accounting for Kickstarter, Commerce Bank loans, PPP loans, and various private equity investments, which Sharif continued to get over the years as things were not financially going very well. Robert Dawson has injected the most at approximately $80 to $90 million, according to Caramanis during the interview, which is insane. So yeah, this is a pretty big game. By 2025, Intrepid Studios' monthly operating expenses exceeded $2.5 million, and revenue from in-game purchases ranged from $150,000 to $200,000 per month. Monthly loss is around $2.3 million. That's an incredible burn rate. You're not making any money at all. The situation became dire. Ultimately, in late 2024, there were multiple payrolls that were missed during the Alpha 2 release. Alpha 2 bonuses, which had also been promised to employees 3 months in advance, were delayed indefinitely. By December of 2025, SATA Systems filed a lawsuit in New York Supreme Court for $252,000 for nearly 3 years of unpaid Google Cloud Platform services. Also, Aetna has also filed a lawsuit as well, though we don't know the exact amount for that. SATA's case ultimately revealed that Intrepid had been technically insolvent for years, unable to pay even basic infrastructure bills. Yet still kept raising millions from new investors, including, again, Dawson's money of up to $80 million between 2022 and 2025. December 2025, Steam Early Access launch now appears to even be more strategic. The release technically satisfied the Kickstarter promise, which ultimately was, and this is to block refund claims, and ultimately generated $3 to $5 million in revenue on Steam for 250 to 350,000 copies sold. It has also provided the final pool of money that Sharif would seize through Commerce Bank just 2 months later, which was supposed to be used for payroll. We'll get there. In January of 2026, just basically a month later, Robert Dawson, the biggest investor, had reached his breaking point, having invested $80 million with no return and facing continued operational losses. He called for 60 to 70% of the staff to be laid off from the company so that it could be financially sustainable. And a new funding round required all existing investors to contribute an additional 25% of their previous investment. So if you put in $100 million, you need to put in now another $25 million, just so that they could maintain equity and keep the company actually going. A new role for Sharif as creative director with earnout-based equity tied to company performance rather than immediate ownership. Sharif, however, flat out refused. Caramanis revealed that he demanded immediate equity despite having contributed no capital himself. And ultimately, the negotiations failed. So Sharif, approximately between January 26th and the 31st, Sharif resigned as creative director. That's when we got ultimately his announcement. And he also contacted Commerce Bank and had them send a letter to Valve claiming that the Steam revenue from the December early access launch, which was approximately $3.7 million, and was also supposed to be used as February 1st payroll. Instead, the money was taken and it was used to pay off Commerce's bank loans that was secured by Sharif's house, releasing ultimately $1.6 million in escrow to Sharif personally. The seizure of the funds left the company unable to make payroll and effectively bankrupted. So yeah, they literally had no money to even keep the lights on. And so, yeah, that's why they just suddenly laid everybody off, because everything was gone, any money that they actually had. So that's the quick version. Again, if you want to read this yourself, this article will be here, along with, I will link down the 2 videos down in the description. But this is a total mess, and this is all allegedly, of course. We're going to see what happens through the court filings, but there's not really going to be a ton of movement probably until the end of 26 or maybe even 2027. So yeah, you'll probably see me there again. And there's other lawsuits that I'm also keeping up with. There's Nintendo versus Pal World. That should be coming pretty close to conclusion, I would think. There's also an addiction lawsuit for basically all live service games. There's all of Sony's lawsuits for overcharging through their store and creating a monopoly. And then there's also the Subnautica 2 lawsuit. So yeah, that's still up in the air too, and we should get more stuff on that in 2026. But anyway, if any of that's interesting to you, and if I've earned it, go ahead and like and sub, and also to help promote the video for me. I really appreciate that, because it's really you guys that help it stay in the algos, ultimately help promote the channel. It's you guys. I'm just a brain. With that, folks, I'll see you guys on the next one.